What's up, guys? This is Rich, and we are here today. We have collected some of the questions that you guys have left on various places about the new QUAKE MTW stock, so we're gonna jump in and answer some of the most common questions. Javega911 asks, how's the air consumption? Is the a noticeable difference? There is a noticeable difference. Obviously, you're generating recoil, so it will use more air. The exact amount more air is hard to define exactly. It doesn't scale as an exact percentage of what the system would use without the recoil. The exact reasons for that are a little complicated, but basically I can't tell you it's exactly this percentage more air. We have provided air consumption information. If you go to the listing, which we will drop a link for over here, it will give you the best way we can explain to you what the general air consumption is. On average, you're gonna get about 30 to 50% less shots than you would with a normal system, but there is quite a bit of variation depending on your configuration. Shell Bunny, I have an older 2018 ? MTW, will it still work? Shell Bunny, it will still work. The QUAKE MTW system is compatible with any of our MTWs, and that being said, you do have to replace both the engine portion, minus the solenoid valve, and the stock. And we will be offering a kit, which will be coming out soon, that has both of those combined, all the parts you need to convert any MTW to a recoil QUAKE stock. Philly Fanatic, can it be used with the Heretic drop stock adapter? No. I mean, there's probably a way. It's not designed to work with it. I'm sure somebody will make it work. There's a way to make it work, but it would require some custom parts. So, general answer, no. It's not designed to be compatible. Could you, in theory, find a way to make it work? Probably. Dylan Hawkins, Wolverine Airsoft, is there any way to make a variant for the Gen 12? I would pay good money for one. Well, Dylan, is there a way? There is certainly a way to make one. We don't have any planned schedule on that right now. We will see how things go. Maybe it's something we'll do in the future, maybe not. In theory, it could work, but it would definitely require some different parts to make it work. So, not at the moment. Nicholas Tam 4926 asked, will it work for any AEG M4 model? No, this is designed to work with the MTW platform. It will not work with AEG M4s in general. Little Bush Airsoft 138, can you use this with the Wraith X HPA kit? No, both systems reside in the stock, in the buffer tube, I should say. So this is your recoil buffer tube. So it's not possible to use it with the Wraith stock. You have to pick one or the other. GB Covenant is recoil on-off switchable to disable it on occasion. It is not on-off switchable in the sense that there's a switch you can change. It's probably a 5-minute job to change from recoil to not recoil. There's a port on the back of the engine that you can remove the air line that goes to the stock and just plug it. We include the plugs with the guns or with the kit, and then you can run without recoil if you want. But it's probably about a 5 to 10 minute job depending on how comfortable you are with the system. LEL Ouch Lamperouge 2051 said, how does the CNC lower body handle the recoil? The previous QUAKE was notorious for cracking metal lower body of replicas. And will there be a video for a stress test of regular MTW with recoil? Well, unlike most AEGs, we don't use die-cast various things, we'll just say, for our lowers. Our lowers are CNC or forged aluminum, and it handles the recoil just fine. It's the same aluminum that you would use for a real AR, so it definitely can handle the recoil, even though the recoil on this is substantially more than our original QUAKE stock. We did a 500,000 zero service test and had zero issues with it there. We do have some video of that, whether we'll splice it into a video at some point. Maybe we'll throw a little clip of it right here so you guys can see. Psych asks, so, Do I understand correctly that with M4 style MTWs, you need the FRAC? Sort of. You need to either run the FRAC or you need to run the airline out underneath the buffer tube some other way. There's not really space to get the airline to turn down and go out the grip, but you can either run the FRAC or you can run like a QD sling plate and just run the airline out the QD sling plate underneath the buffer tube. Either of those work fine. On the 308 platform, you can do either. There's plenty of space with the larger receiver to get the airline out the grip or run it out the back with the FRAC or airline just like you would on the M4. JOW 3H. What about forged compatibility? The QUAKE MTW will work with the forged lineup of MTWs. It's no issue. So yeah, works with forged. The only thing to remember there is that if you're running a forged, you do have the premium FCU. You will have to move the FCU and battery into the grip and not in the buffer tube where it is often housed. Michael Vane Chelpole 4312 asks, is it possible to put the QUAKE stock on a Heretic Labs? Absolutely. Heretic Labs article series are built on an MTW spec platform, and you definitely can make that work. Weffel97 asks, when are we getting the MTW 308 with this system installed? With a crying face emoji. Well, Weffel97, you'll have to stay tuned. We're not giving full details on that, but keep your eyes peeled. It's certainly something that you will probably see at some point in the future. Dazbag asked, will you be selling the QUAKE MTW recoil upgrade system in a whole MTW package? Because I don't want to build this. I would rather buy this as a whole rifle package. Will you sell this as a whole gun? Absolutely. We already started selling actually sold out of the Fossil Dig 1, which has the QUAKE system installed on it from the factory. Next thing we will be launching is the aftermarket, and then you will start seeing some different models eventually become available going forward with the recoil system installed from the factory. Wolfman122 asks, is there a performance difference between this engine without the recoil stock and the old engine, by which I assume you mean the Gen 2 Inferno? So this one's going to take a minute to answer, but let me start by saying that, behind me you see five Players' Choice Awards for the Gen 2 Inferno as the best HPA engine. The revolutionary patented technology with the Gen 2 Inferno was our hybrid technology, which we introduced to the Airsoft world, that allows a single solenoid to drive an action which operates sort of as a hybrid between how open bolt and closed bolt systems have typically operated. This divides the loading of the BB with the nozzle from the firing of the poppet and adds a slight, very short, but enough to help stabilize the BB, delay between the loading action and the firing action. But it does it all with the simplicity of a single solenoid. So you get the robustness and stability of an open bolt single solenoid system with a lot of the performance advantages people typically look for from a closed bolt system. What we've done with the XTS is to sort of optimize that, and the XTS actually stands for extended stroke. By extending the total stroke of the poppet and the nozzle a little bit, it allows us to increase the space between when the nozzle loads and when the poppet fires, just giving a little bit more time for BB stabilization, and overall providing a little bit more forgiveness in a variety of ways in terms of how the system operates. That said, it is what we would consider sort of a statistical improvement. On average, both in our development testing and now as we've started to actually build guns with these, we have seen a little bit better performance on average. It's not dramatic usually, it's an incremental improvement, and it's more of a statistical thing that in general, across different combinations of parts, the engine performs a little bit better. Doesn't necessarily mean that on your particular gun with your particular combinations of parts, this is guaranteed to be way better. Don't want to overpromise on that, just trying to make that clear. It's the same technology improved and optimized, not like a totally new technology on the engine front. Anonymous user 723 asks, is there an impact on shooting performance from running the QUAKE stock? The answer is, I hope obviously, yes, there's going to be some impact on shooting performance. If all you care about is air efficiency and groupings and like that's all you care about, then our existing technology is what you're going to want to run. You don't want to add variables when you're trying to optimize shooting performance to the maximum. That said, the impact on shooting performance, especially compared to some other recoil options on the market, like anything gas blowback related, is really pretty mild. You will not expect as consistent shot-to-shot FPS variation as you would without a recoil stock. Hopefully that's obvious why. The air is doing something other than just firing the BB. But the FPS variation is still very tolerable. Subjectively, the groupings from people that we've let test it, people have been super pleased with it and haven't visually just noticed a big difference between shooting an MTW with the recoil and without. But if you start measuring things, there definitely is more variation there. So is there an impact on shooting performance? Yes. Exactly how hard you hold the stock can impact the velocity a little bit, factors like that. But the impact is relatively moderate, and overall the shooting performance is still very high compared to other options on the market. So if you want really good shooting performance, with the realism of recoil, this is a great option for you. If all you care about is shooting performance and you don't care about the recoil, well then obviously this isn't for you. So lastly, I'm going to finish up combining 3 questions. Bernardo Fernandez, is the QUAKE currently available to buy? Puppy Knuckle, when's the release date? Rafael Pekarski? Okay, how much? Not giving you the price just yet, not giving you an exact release date just yet, but I will tell you, you will see these open up for order sometime in the next month. So keep your eyes open and you will get exact price and exact release date very soon. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you guys out on the field.